Hi everyone, my name is Jamie. I'm coming to you from Brisbane, Australia. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Shawn Cheek and webpianoteacher.com. I stumbled across Shawn's lessons on YouTube about 10 years ago, and instantaneously I started realizing that the amount of stuff Shawn could teach me in a short period of time was immense. It was great. I'd been to traditional lessons, sitting down with a teacher and trying to read sheet music and things like that. And it's not that I couldn't do it. It's just that it always took really long time for me to do it. Um, I basically started using all of the piano tutorials that were on YouTube to try and learn more and do things like that. And then when I came across Shawn's lessons, it was just one of those things that the way that he would describe the way to play the song, the way that he would notate it on his whiteboard, things like that. The fact that you could press pause and look at the notes that were on the whiteboard, um, things like that really made turned learning the piano for me personally from something that was like a task that was arduous. Yeah, I had to go through it and work out which note was this, what was that, how do I do this and that, to having just someone standing in front of me saying, this is how to play this is what you do, these are the notes, use this type of fingering. Um, I was playing drums in a band at the time, and basically the as is the culture where we are, the noise restrictions were getting quite great for the traditional rock band to be playing drums in a pub. So the guys that I work with, we wanted to keep working, so we tried to change what we were doing, and because I played piano a little bit as a kid, nothing major, just I knew a few chords and things like that. I knew that I could match up some of the songs that they were playing because they were just doing simple songs that were simple chords, G, D, C, stuff like that, and basically I could follow what they were doing. After doing that for a little period of time and not really doing that well with it type of thing, I basically started looking more in depth into Web Piano Teacher, and I actually signed up for a membership. When I signed up for the membership, basically it opened me up to all of the lessons that they have, and I started doing things like American Pie, and instead of just being able to play the chord structure to the song, I could all of a sudden play every lick, every single thing that was being played on the album that I remember hearing. And it was something that didn't take me 10 weeks to learn. I could watch it and go, oh, he's just doing that. And then the hard part is doing the practice, because as much as Shawn can teach you what to do, it's up to us to do the practice to make sure that we get where we're going, I suppose. I just really wanted to credit him because I've never really had a piano teacher that has been able to talk to me the way that I needed to learn and the way that I needed to hear things. Little things like when I would hear people play songs and there would be noises that they made, and I really had no idea how to watch it. And if you try and watch someone play it, their fingers are moving too fast. I had no idea what they were doing. I started watching some lessons from Shawn, and not just watching what he was doing, but listening to the little comments that he makes in between what he's saying with the structure that he's putting his lessons through. And some of the little things that he would say really resonated with me, and I could understand exactly what he was meaning. And so I could then turn that into a way of putting it into my own piano playing. So for me personally, like, I went from being a drummer in a rock band, which we're playing covers in the pubs. We make a little bit of money, and sort of I've got a family, I've got a mortgage, I work full time, so to play the gigs on the weekend and make a little bit of money is quite important for my world. About 7 years ago, I transitioned from playing drums to playing piano, and I've kept up with the Web Piano Teacher ever since. Basically, anytime I go to play, like if we play someone's wedding or we do something like that, what I do is if the song that they ask us to learn for their first dance, perfect example, Van Morrison's "Someone Like You," we had that to play at a wedding, and the first thing I did was I looked up on on webpianoteacher.com, sorry, found out that he had a tutorial for that song. Next thing you know, I'm playing that song absolutely beautifully at someone's wedding, the runs, the licks, everything, and I learnt it in like a night because of the way that Shawn could teach it to me. Um, I mean, the way that Shawn teaches the piano to me is a revolutionary method for people like me. I'm the type of person that struggles in traditional lessons. I find it difficult to read music. It's not that I can't do it, but it takes me a long time to be able to do something that is very we'll put it this way: what Shawn can teach me in 5 minutes would probably take me 3 hours of going through the notes, working out the finger structure and things like that. So I just wanted to give him a real big shout out and say that, like, thanks for everything, mate. Like, without your help and without the things that you did for me personally, I'd never be in the situation where I can supplement my income, help pay my mortgage and all that stuff, basically from playing the piano. And well, I loved playing the piano as a kid, but I never was really any good. And when you look at other people, like especially like you, Shawn, when you look at people like you play the piano, like you're amazing. And I suppose the goal is never for me to replicate somebody else. It's just to be myself and to be able to play as good as I can play. And you really helped me out on that journey, mate. And basically, I'm now, I've been playing gigs for about 10 years, maybe 11 years now. And for maybe 7 or 8 of them now has been predominantly on the piano. And when I started, I could play a couple of chords. Now I can play so much, it surprises me even how much I can play. But the basis of all that has come from the fact that I always could physically do it. I couldn't, I didn't have the information or the knowledge behind me to be able to back it up, if that makes sense, and put it out onto the piano so that it sounded legitimate. And when I stumbled across your lessons, you really resonated with me in particular, because the way that you would talk about how people learn music and the traditional ways of learning, you go to schools and you learn off sheet music, and some people, like you say in your lessons, that some people don't learn that way. Well, I'm a perfect example of someone that doesn't learn that way. I learn basically, I hear things rhythmically. I don't hear it tonally. Like, so if you said what's the high note, what's the low note, I don't really know. But if you tell me what note it is, I can play it. So your website for me personally has not only turned me into a way better piano player than I ever thought I ever would be, but it's cemented me into a situation where I've got regular work. I've got a guy that I play with that sings and plays guitar well. So even your little comments of how to stay out of the way of the guitar and things like that really help, because I work in a duo a lot. So to me, it's one of those things that, like, if there's too much going on, it doesn't sound right. And you've got to be able to complement the person that's that you're playing with as well. But even on that, the differences between playing in a duo and playing solo piano, which is something that I learnt totally from you. When you would talk about, like, we play this here because we're playing solo piano. Because when you do things in a duo, if my guy that I was playing with wasn't there, I'd play the things on the piano and it just didn't sound right. There was bits missing and I didn't know how to fill up the gaps. And from your lessons, and it's not just the lessons, it's the little comments that you make in between talking about things that probably seem innocuous to you or not really important, but to people like me, it really sits in and it really rings true. So for me, I just want to say thanks, mate. Like, you've been my piano teacher for the last 10 years, even though you're in America, I'm in Australia. The way that I can get it on my phone, watch it, put the headphones on and just watch a tutorial. I don't even have to be at the piano, but the way that you talk through it, I can get a good understanding. Like the house is a rockin', mate. The Stevie Ray Vaughan song the other night, mate. I haven't had a chance to sit on the piano and give it a go, but that that vamping in the B, mate. Like I can't wait to get down and have a go, and learn the specific licks and things like that. So for me personally, mate, I just want to give a big shout out and say thanks so much. It's basically you've made my lifetime. When I was a kid, I always wanted to play piano really well, and I never really got there. And then when I came across your lessons, I somehow ended up getting way further than I ever thought I would. So anyone out there that was thinking of signing up with Web Piano Teacher, and that, I can't recommend it more than I can't recommend it enough, I suppose. To me, it's one of those things that I'm grateful that I ever stumbled across your lessons, and trust me, there's a lot of lessons out there. I've watched them, I've seen them. I rated everything that I could when I was first starting, and the one that I stuck with in particular was Shawn. And to see the website develop the way that it has and come across, to me, Shawn, you're a godsend. Thank you very much. I love the videos of you and your family. I got 4 kids, so for me, it's one of those things that, like, you probably don't appreciate how much you've affected people like me. But I'm forever grateful for ever stumbling across you on YouTube, mate. And as much as I've got an accent, mate, your accent's so cool. It's not funny. I loved it. I loved it the moment I heard your accent, and like the way you explain your country thirds and and that. It's awesome. So thanks again, Shawn. I just wanted to do a little video and say, to all the people out there, if they're thinking of joining up for Web Piano Teacher, I'm living proof that you can go from being, sort of nowhere, to being somewhere. And Shawn can lead you the way. You got to do the walking. As with any circumstance, Shawn can't practice for you, but he can show you what to practice, and he can show you how to practice it. And for me personally, that's what I needed. I didn't need any more. And I can proudly say now that I've been playing live on the piano for many years. My favorite experience ever was playing at a pub in Brisbane called the Plough Inn, and it was pouring down rain, so all the markets were off, and the only place that was open was the pub that we were playing. And basically everyone that was there, because it's got like a public park and things like that, everyone that was there had congregated around the pub because it was the only place that was open. A mate of mine said, hey, let's play American Pie, and I'd learned American Pie note for note from the Web Piano Teacher, all the little licks and things like that. And I remember just hitting the first couple of chords in, and my mate started singing, and then he stopped singing because like the sea of people in front of us started singing the song for us. So to me, that's what music's all about. To me, that it's the feeling you get inside of the camaraderie between, what makes us all human, I suppose. So to me, without Shawn and the way that he teaches and the lessons that he's put out there, I'd never be able to do the things that I do. And don't get me wrong, I can't play like Shawn. But you got, like, I just wanted to say, yeah, you're a legend, mate, and I really appreciate everything that you've done for me. So, yeah, hope to talk to you soon. All right, see you, bud. Bye.